Gelsey, where's your dinger? I don't have one.
I do. I promise it's champagne.
So do I. All right. All right, guys. Welcome back to Anchor Watch, our late night below deck chat where we take over Up and Adam's channel to recap everyone's favorite show and the highest rated show on Bravo, Below Deck. It's the only one worth watching. So, in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
But but tonight we have a really special guest. I'm actually really excited to bring him on. Gelsey, I think we were like shocked that we actually get to talk to him this fast. Like when they're filming these seasons and stuff, it's really hard to get them to come on, especially when they just finished the season. So I'm really happy that we have a very special guest tonight. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Personal favorite guys here.
A very personal favorite. We love him. He's the only guy that got like the Project Runway intro. You know what I mean? Like the way he got introduced to the show, it's like, who is this guy? Like, where is he coming from? Why is it like, it looks like we're watching Devil Wears Prada. It's
I thought a model. I thought he was going to be a total tool, and I'll tell, but he wasn't. But the way they just I was like, who is this model? I was like, come on.
Who is this model? Guys in the live chat, welcome. Hit that like button. It helps us out so much. It's our tip. And guys, here we're all about the tip and we love our tips. So our tip is just hitting that like button. And guys, subscribe so you don't miss anything. Also, special shout out to a whole bunch of people who are in the live chat tonight who were joining us in our live chat on the website during the Valley and Next Gen NYC, which I had to sit through tonight. It was fine. It was good. But I have a poll going because we got to compare this week's episode. It's our second episode. And Gelsey, you and I were talking that this is kind of a transition episode. It was kind of like slower.
It's a stepping stone episode. Yeah, it's a plot builder. We need some things to just kind of build that foundation. So then it looks like next episode we are going to explode, which we need those.
Which we are. I mean, it's insane. But there were some great moments this episode, I have to say. So guys, vote in the live chat. I want to know what you guys are thinking. And while you guys are doing that, let's welcome our very special guest tonight. We have Nicolas Cattelan. I hope I'm saying your name right. So you're going to correct me when you get on here. From Below Deck Down Under season 3, he was one of the star standouts in our opinion. So we love to see him, and we're really happy to welcome him here tonight. So let's welcome him and stop talking. Hey, Nick.
Hello, everyone. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Awesome. Ready to go. It's nice and wintry down in the southern hemisphere, but
that's right.
Giving me the excitement jitters.
So you're in South Africa, correct?
That's right. Yeah, Cape Town. Nice and chilly at the moment.
And what time is it
for you? 4:30 in the morning.
Guys, it is our late night below deck chat. So
ooh, it's gonna get steamy.
Super late.
Super late
early.
Night. All the way into the morning. Nick, thank you for being here and being a trooper with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I wanted to start off because I know Gelsey and I have some questions. So we'll go back and forth. I do want to kind of start off with this because the live chat has already been going and people have put their questions in, which I'll ask you to at the end. But as kind of an introduction, you kind of got me this season because I'm such a Trekkie. And I just wanted to ask what kind of Trekkie you are. Are you like OG? Are you Next Generation? Deep Space Nine? I gotta know.
Well, I think for a lot of Trekkies, I'm a bit of a hack because my first and favorite was the J.J. Abrams movies from 2009.
No way.
Yeah. So maybe I seem like a fake fan. But that was my grandmother took me to that. I remember I used to go to the movies with my grandmother all the time, and I didn't know what it was. And it's like in 2009, we're walking into the cinema, and I was like, "What kind of movie is this?" And she just said, "Seems like a long one." Oh yeah, great, thanks. And then I went in and I fell in love with it. And then since then, I've watched TOS, Next Gen. Voyage is also very good as well, but then also the recent stuff. Since then, genuinely, I've actually been very impressed, and all Trek fans were very, very dubious about new stuff, as is the case with all fandoms. But I think Strange New Worlds is the best Star Trek show ever.
Oh yes,
I absolutely love it.
So good. I don't mean to make this all about Star Trek because that's not why we're here. But Picard, this last season of Picard, which I think was the final, just like kind of brought everything together. But we wanted to know, I think, first of all, is just kind of a little bit about you, because we get to know who you are on camera. We get to know who you are on a show that's very produced. Even though it is very real, there are characters that are to be played. Who are you? Where are you from? How did you get into this crazy world of yachting?
So, when a lot of people ask where I'm from, the answer is very unintuitive. I say France, and they go, "What?" Because it depends why they're asking. Is it the accent? Is it how I look, or whatever? So my mum is half English, half Chinese, and my dad's half French, half Italian, and I was born in France. So for the first couple of years, the only English I heard was my mum's fancy accent. And the reason we moved around a lot is because my dad was a professional windsurfer at the time, and then kite surfer. He was on the world championship. He was pretty good. And so going around, always being by the beach, in the water, around a lot of very, unprofessional professional people. It was kind of like the early skating crew. It was like a bunch of rock stars. And so I think that gave me a very interesting perspective on life. Also, being the only kid around on tour, I think it made me mature quite quickly. Or
Wow.
so I think I became more mature than a lot of them quite quickly. And so then once you get older, I became more studious. And then my dad moved on from pro kiting to working in yachts, because he's always been like sailing and stuff like that. He worked his way up, and then one random winter, he was working on a yacht, which was um, in the shipyard. It was getting redone, like new teak and stuff like that. He's like, "Hey, do you want to come be a pirate for 6 weeks or something like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." um, so I went over, and then for 6 weeks we worked together, which was a very strange experience. And then I got to know the captain very well, the first mate, the chef, all that stuff. And then my dad left that boat for another boat. He was an engineer at the time, and then I stayed on, and then I wore one more charter, and then one more charter, then one more charter, and then I ended up doing the whole season with them. And that was my only season before going on the show.
That's insane. That's
Wow.
totally insane. Now, I do want to jump into the show just a little bit, because that's how we were all introduced to you. I don't think this is the last we're going to see of you, I'm sure. But Gelsey had some interesting questions, so I want to pass the baton over to her.
I actually have two. I'll start with a more production side. Something that I think a lot of people want to know is, when you are filming, and obviously there's a lot of B-roll and there's a lot going on, and the camera's always on you, and then there's a final cut, which you don't know what's going to be included. You don't know what version of you they're going to portray. Were you at all shocked by how they portrayed you, or was anything feel like it was so different from reality, or other people on the ship that you just are like, wow, it's really hacked up? Or it's kind of like, no, they do a good job keeping the reality of it?
Good picture. Yeah. So it's a slow build to how how you end up feeling they're gonna, the sort of essence of you that they're boiling down. And so I wasn't necessarily surprised by the time of the airing, because a lot of the questions, I mean, I thought I was hiding it pretty well. Um, but then when I got to the question, like the talking head sections, they started skewing further and further towards, away from boating and towards Star Trek. So I was like, okay, this is where I'm at. And oh yeah, and then I remember the big clue. This was during production, during a bit of downtime. We were just genuinely cleaning the boat, and there was a sound engineer who was asked. It was like, oh yeah, I had these in. I said, oh yeah, what are you listening to? And I said, oh, it's Faith of the Heart, which is the Star Trek Enterprise theme. And she goes, oh yeah, of course. I was like, what? Is that how they see me in the control
That's
room?
what I
Or how,
am.
you know, when they're like, oh,
I mean,
okay.
you got seen so much that way that you got the most iconic send off at the end of the season. You got beamed out. Like who? That's
I
never
know.
happened. Like what?
Did you know? Did you know that while we were there, because obviously, like the people who make the show, they're not necessarily boat people. They're big movie and TV nerds. And so when my stuff was coming in, we actually got a call from the executive producers saying, "Hey, we need to approve more budget for this visual effect
So
of
they
me
can get that
beaming in and
effect.
out." Yeah,
That's
That's epic.
hilarious.
I
That's
was so
really
proud of
hilarious.
that.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
god. Gelsey, I think we'll just bounce back and forth here because I just want to ask you some stuff. And I know, Gelsey, I know what your other question is that I really want to know. Really bad. But now that the Star Trek ones are out of the way, I guess I can just go ahead and delete those. But I wanted to ask you, what was like the wildest off-camera moment that you had that the audience didn't see? And did you have one that was like kind
Yeah.
of crazy?
A date with Marina.
Oh, you guys went on an actual date.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we were surprised when it got. I get it. It did make sense because it was actually happening concurrently with Nate and Alicia's date. So it was a bit of a production, complication. Um, but yeah, that was a lovely time. In a way, it's almost like it's more personal. It belongs to the two of us now. It was a very, very nice little thing. She actually put some pictures of it up on her Instagram. It was that jetty that the boat is always moored to. It was at the end of. It was at the show never goes there. The cameras never go there. We never go there on the show. But if you just walk to the end of that jetty, it's like the most beautiful view of all time. And it was at sunset. I made a nice cheese board. It was quite a comical thing, me trying to bum around the galley, trying to find crackers and cheese because I don't know where anything is.
I
And stuff
wish we
like
saw this.
I know.
I
I
wish
think
we
people
did
would have really
too.
enjoyed it.
I mean, it doesn't go against much else, but I guess it's just like a focus on, narrative focus. I understand that at the time, maybe like pacing wise, it makes more sense to focus on Nate's. But yeah, no, in a way, I'm grateful for it. It kind of belongs to the two of us, specifically now.
Yeah, it's more of an intimate experience now, and I do feel like there was a tone, whether it was the full truth for you or not, that you guys kind of had this obviously attraction, which my question is going to get into that, and connection, but you both seem to have this understanding of, look, we're in the yachting world, we know that we're probably going to be taken onto two different boats, and like the reality of this is far-fetched, and so I think it was like you guys had one of the most mature relationships and understandings that I've seen on Below Deck. But Alicia, there was more drama there where it's like, oh, he wants it, she does it, but she's playing, so I can see why they made that choice, if you will. Yeah. But so my question so when you came on to the show and we talked about your bitchin' intro of like this fashion model, but then you come on and kind of really go, oh, I'm, at least with I'm the shy guy, I'm the nerdy boy, I don't really know how to talk to girls. You kind of have the flirting with the new charter guests that are on, and you play all this, and it's, you do have this beautiful, attractive, I was like, this guy's a model. And then the first night you go out with everyone, you just go straight for the kill and straight in for the kiss, Marina. And I told Jason, I was like, he's bullshitting this whole act. He's playing the nerdy shy guy, but he knows exactly what he's doing. I gotta know what is it?
What was specifically break down whether I'm a nerd or a ladies' man?
The confidence, because you played the I'm shy and I'm not good with guys, but then you kind of seem to like play your cards perfectly.
Well, I think that's the beauty of it, that I kind of felt that I almost felt like the responsibility to reality and to, by extension, reality TV. We can all be both or neither at any different time. The existence of one aspect of our personality doesn't preclude another. I feel like we often get pigeonholed, and especially in a sort of a slightly shaped reality, like construction of reality. Things have to be a little bit more broad, and we tend to become archetypal sort of character traits and stuff like that. But we all have the capacity for extreme focus on a frivolous passion, but then also passion for each other and people. And I think it's just no matter. I find like I'm a passionate person, and whether it's about people or TV shows and movies or yachting or adventures or whatever, uh, to find that I see the passion that's there rather than I'm like this or I'm a person like that. So, and also there were a fair few clues with Marina, um, uh, and so I felt pretty confident going in. It wasn't a complete Hail Mary.
Okay.
Um, I was like, okay, 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 but it has to be for me. It has to be that clear that for me to go
Got
in
it.
that
Got
strong.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you
The
got to
way
get
they
the
edited
signal.
definitely looks like it's just a long shot. And I was like,
Yeah,
like,
like
Yeah,
we had been
bravo.
sitting next to each other. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, like, obviously it was that's still the timeline that you see. Like, I feel like I did a pretty good job, but but also as much as people often say like, oh, when they're on the show, like, oh, they go a little faster, or there's a chance to kind of compress time, so to speak. But the, the, there's an aspect in psychology called code switching, which is when you're in a new environment, you tend to be a little bit more blasé with who you feel you used to be or your identity or something like that. You feel a bit more free to sort of shape
mhm.
your actions. And as much as that, it's perfectly true when you're on a boat to, you're away from reality. This isn't my normal life for a time. It's um yeah, I'll do what I actually wanted to do rather than just thinking about it. But why don't we all do that? We only have one life, and there's no time to waste. And we knew each other for 3 days at that point, and we could have waited another 2 weeks to actually express how we felt about each other. But why? And I feel like
But
we
why? And
all.
you guys don't really have a lot of time. I mean, this
Mm,
is this is a very quick. It's what is it? 6 weeks of filming total, right?
mm,
So by the time you came
yeah.
into the show, how much time did you have left? Did you come in
Yes.
like more mid season
Yeah, it was
or
3.5 weeks I was there, which feels much
Wow.
wow?
longer when you're in it. But
Yeah.
it's a very, very compressed time scale, and it is visible on the show. But I mean, even a yachting season, it feels like a whole life. Because you come there, you
Oh
meet
yeah,
new
yeah.
people, you live together, and then you disappear, and most of them you never see again. And I feel like there's a certain amount of like freeing nature to that, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Your
absolutely.
inhibitions tend to get lifted.
100%. Jason and I have done so many contracts performing, and I just did one that was a month. I've done ones that are a year. I've done everything in between. And it's exactly the way you said about kind of being to be someone you're not,
Mm,
and the lifetime within a short amount of time. It's all like we can relate to it so much.
yeah.
I was like, yep.
So I mean, like yeah, we always talk about this too, Gels. It's we both used to perform in Cirque du Soleil, and we always thought that the circus and yachting were very similar, not for the reasons you probably think, but you have what do we have, like 16 nationalities in our show? You have like
Minimum.
50, a group of 50 people, and everyone comes from all over the world with different disciplines and different knowledge and different attributes to kind of put on a show. And that's kind of like what to me watching this show is. It's like you guys are from everywhere. Everyone has a different talent. You guys come to put on a show and make your money, make your
It
tip.
feels familiar. Hmm.
Yeah. Nick, so I do have to say it is so nice to watch someone come on the show who is more emotionally available. Uh, I guess that's the right thing to say. I'm not sure,
No,
but
I get it.
someone
I
who's
get it.
kind of
Yeah.
like a little more centered, and almost relatable. That kind of thing I do really enjoy watching as well, because sometimes I feel like with housewives especially, everyone's going for like the next big scandal, or you have to
Mm,
do something crazy, and I think sometimes simplicity, it speaks so much more volumes, and I think you kind of like hit this like gold zone, if you will. But where do you guys sit now? Where do you and Marina sit, just out of curiosity?
well, as much as we both met on a reality TV show, We both like to keep it private, believe it or not.
You don't say.
And I suppose to sort of answer the question, what you saw there was real.
Oh. We
It
got
felt
some
real.
reality TV. It did feel real.
Of all the relationships and boatmances, it felt, like I said, the most mature and genuine and real.
That's what it felt like. I mean, like, I don't want to comment on any others. Obviously, I'm not privy to other stuff going on, especially on other shows or other seasons or whatever like that. But I think that it extends to maybe my approach to the whole experience is the same with Marina and I, is that I'm I am fully happy with however they ended up portraying me because everything I did, I stand behind. Everything with her was real. Everything that I did, I'm not, I don't want to like hype it up or make decisions. If you start making decisions based on it being a TV show, then that, yeah, firstly, it reads as wrong. There's something off about it. You're acting, which sucks. And then that's when you start becoming sort of, in my probably, that's when you probably start becoming defensive afterwards because you don't actually stand behind what you did. And then when the criticism comes, or it's the internet. The internet, it can be a dark and scary place, and and the reaction can be whatever it is. And I feel like everything that I did, I stand behind, and everything that was there was true. And so that's why I'm very, very proud and happy with the response that both I have gotten and her and I as a team. And yeah, no, I'm very, very proud of her, especially with how she's gone about everything, and I mean, just as a person as well. She's amazing.
That's
awesome.
I love hearing those stories. You don't hear many of those stories, you know. Am I caught up? Because sometimes my internet's going in and out.
Yes, you're caught up. I will. I don't know if you have a question. Oh, some people want to know, but just a quick. Obviously, you're still in the yachting world. Do you have kind of a quick version of what's your short-term future plans, and then what's kind of the long-term goal with yachting? Is it, I know a lot of people want to become a captain, or if it's
So short term, keep doing it here and there. It's not my main focus. No, nor was it ever really like the story of how I got into it was just serendipity, and I deal pretty well with the circumstances, and I like the adventure. Sort of the Jack Sparrow of it all. It was never like a career for me. It was an adventure for a time, which everything is. It's important to not imbue everything with a sense of destiny and purpose. The purpose of yachting for me is the adventure and meeting people and stuff like that. And I will keep doing it like seasonally. I don't have any aspirations in terms of increased career. I don't feel like being a bosun or anything like that because all that money is going into. I'm studying my pilot's license. I'm eventually trying to become a captain in a different way.
amazing.
I'm a commercial pilot one day. So that's where my focus is at the moment. Obviously, that takes a long time. So that's a middle, a 5-year plan, so to speak.
That's awesome. I love that. I want to get my personal pilot's license one day. Hopefully in the next 5 years. So I feel that. But yeah, no, that's a great answer.
Yeah. Gels, I'm going to ask some questions from the live chat. We had some earlier, and then some people have sent in questions as well. So if I can just ask you 3 questions from the live chat. First, from Carol, who was in the live chat now. She asked, what does your mom and dad think about you being on the show?
Hi, Carol. So my mum loves it more than anything in the world. She is, as you know, she is more engaged than any fan has ever been in the show. It's crazy. She's on the Reddits. She's deep. Like she's sending me screenshots. Oh, look, this person said that. Oh, speculation of
she knows.
such and such.
She knows.
Oh, she's deep in there. Like I don't have the sort of fortitude to be able to dig that deep.
I love that.
And my dad, he was initially like, oh, whatever, like what? He hadn't seen much of it, but now, since sending him like the episodes, he's now into it. He's like, oh, what did such and such person said to this? Oh no, she's causing problems. Oh no, he's being like this. Now my dad's into it too. It's hilarious. Like he never watches TV or anything like that. Like so that's really really funny. And it's fun that they're very engaged with it and proud of it. And well, the thing is, like, I'm not being super salacious. So, I can show my parents, what happened.
Yeah, no, and yeah, you can actually be proud of it too, which I'm not going
I
to say
think
for your
so.
entire crew the same thing, but
Well, it's good TV.
it's good
Contrast.
TV. Dirty Habits asked earlier, we loved seeing you shine in front of the camera. Will Hollywood be seeing you in the future, maybe in a different role? Is that something you are interested in?
Well, so hey, Dirty Habits. Yeah, I start my first time through university was actually studying initially acting and then editing and directing. I did filmmaking and film studies, and I was a film editor for a while, like the commercials and TV shows and stuff like that. Um, and so I've always loved acting and storytelling and stuff like that. So maybe one day circle back to it. But I think the reason that I'm more at the moment, I'm in the phase of my life where I'm trying to forge my own perspective on the world, have my own adventures. I think a lot of my friends who stayed in the film industry or went straight from high school into film school into the film industry, that's their only perspective, and that's their only sort of like perspective on the world is as a filmmaker. Whereas Werner Herzog says, you do not learn to become a poet in a college. You learn by milking a cow or becoming a bouncer in a sex club. Go live real life. And that's a quote.
I love that. Fucking love that.
It's great. It's so true though.
And it's so funny. It's too, just I think Gelsey, you and I, like, we're getting older. We've had so many experiences and crazy things. Like, your perspective on life just changes as you go through it too.
Oh yeah.
I think I love that attitude, because some people's like views and goals can be so narrow sometimes, and not in a bad way. It's just what they want, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so last question I have from someone you might know is, what did you learn about yourself after filming Below Deck Down Under? And that's from Candace.
Oh, you see how deep she is into it. She left the question. Well, hi, Mum. Love you. What did I learn about myself? She always gives me the hard question. What did I learn about myself? I guess letting go a little bit. The beautiful thing, the fundamental thing about the experience is that it's a mirror onto a certain period of your life, and it allows you to have this experience. I remember I was actually on a call with so maybe at the start of the while our season was starting airing, I was on a call with Serena, and we were just discussing, like, oh yeah, like the experience and stuff like that. And I was saying that, like, I'm worried at this point. This was at a phase where I was worried about it comes and goes. And I was like, I wish I'd done the show now instead, because I feel so much more ready and I feel so much more confident now. And I was like, during that call, I was like, actually, do you know what? It's so good that I had that, because that's how I learnt the confidence that I have now. And I wouldn't, the fact that now it's a good thing that I now feel confident, as opposed to if I had just, in the same way that I used to be much more of a warrior. I used to be a lot more in my head. And so I would only ever attempt something if I was 100% sure that it was like feasible and capable, the 10-step process to getting it done. Whereas I think from doing the show, I am now more capable of just like throwing caution a bit more to the wind. And okay, well, if I don't succeed this time, it'll be a great way to learn how to do it, or so. Seeing it that way, it's doing the show is what gave me the confidence to feel like I could finally do the show now. At the time, I was like, oh no, felt like not a disaster, but it was like, at the time, it was, is this? Oh yeah, I remember I did that. You get in your head about all these kinds of things, and I think it's allowed me to. It's been a big stepping stone for me in terms of like moving in life, being dynamic and moving.
That's great.
A great answer.
That's that's so great. And I guess too, the only other question that we would have is from Judy. I think she just asked it in the live chat. Is, Nick, would you ever do another Below Deck?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and listen, I got extremely lucky. I got extremely lucky with my season. Firstly, coming in, replacing someone. You don't get told why, but I was like, okay, if I'm replacing someone, that means that I'm being compared to someone who got fired, so there's a bit more grace, you know. And then coming in, and it was, yeah, that was legit the thought
I
process
never
I
thought
had
of it
going. I
that
was like,
way.
oh, okay,
So true.
like because I was like, oh, maybe, you know. And so I get there, and I'm like, okay. And at least, you know, in our department, things were growing great. Nate, I don't think he gets the credit he deserves for how good a boss he is. He was genuinely the hardest worker there. I think he took a total of about 1 hour of break the whole time he was there. And he's a fantastic sort of um blend of being like, he's a friend here, and then he's a boss here, and he separates the two very well, and he's great at both, but one doesn't affect the other. And I think that was a fantastic trait. He was wonderful. And so in our department, everything went well, you know, functionally, which allows for, you know, greater sort of expression elsewhere and amongst other people and in other ways. And so I had a great experience personally. Now, if you see do we call it legacy? Do we call it below deck? Do we call it
Yeah,
Caribbean?
yeah.
I don't
Below
know.
deck legacy.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah, below deck
100%.
legacy.
Yeah, yeah.
This season seems a lot less wholesome than ours. Not a bad thing. It seems like it's going to be the greatest season of TV ever.
Different. It's just different.
It's definitely different. It's very scary sometimes. If I was on there, that would be probably a more tricky thing for me. So absolutely, I'd go back, but who knows how well it would go? I don't know, but yeah, absolutely, I'd go
New
back for sure.
experience. Yeah, different
Yeah, for
experience
sure.
to continue your kind of adventures and growth.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And you don't know where you're gonna be. You know, like
No one does.
You know.
Mm.
Nick, I
Yeah,
do
no one
want to
knows.
just say thank you so much again. Thank you so much again for being here. I hope I'm not lagging here. Maybe I am a little bit.
Oh,
But
you're
Nick,
back.
thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
So much. You are definitely a huge fan favorite on Anchor Watch.
Thank you, both of you. You two are
Like,
so
if I
funny.
catch up,
I
I'm
really
sorry,
do
guys.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thanks for waking up super early.
Oh no, best of luck going forward for the whole season. I can't wait to listen in.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Jason.
Jason's having a little bit of technical.
Bye, Nick. Thank you.
So we can have a dance party.
Gelsey, am I here? Did I make it?
Here. Your voice is here. Your picture is frozen. Oh, you're starting to move.
I know.
We have you, but
I am here. Oh God, Nick? I just want to say really quick because I don't know if you saw me. Am I here?
You're here.
Am I here a little bit? Sorry, guys. I have the worst excuse in the world. Nick, thank you so much for being here. We absolutely adore you. We love you. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you guys will. Don't worry, I will chapter this. So when we get into the recap, you guys were.
Oh, Jason, we've kind of lost you. You're a little dodgy. So if need be, just give me a sign and I can kind of take over for everybody. There was a lightning storm where Jason is. So he said he had a bad excuse. He has a great excuse because we can't control the weather. So no worries. While he reloads, I'll keep us going. How amazing was Nick? Such a sweetheart, was better than I could have imagined. But we do have an episode that we need to dive into, right? Okay. Oh, thanks for the support, everybody. Love you all already. This is such a beautiful family that I'm coming into, and it just makes me so happy. So Jason and I were talking. We do think that this episode was a bit of a stepping stone episode. You know, the most drama didn't happen here, but I personally think that these episodes are really necessary to kind of build that foundation for shit to hit the fan, because I think next week shit's gonna hit the fan. So I do want to start with the obvious kind of plot line here. Chefy, let's go with Lawrence. He's obviously leaving. Even after he said he's gonna leave and they've decided to bring in a new chef, he's just continuously this disaster of like I don't know, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, I personally, what do you guys say in the comments? Like, let me know what you think of Chef. I'm kind of glad he's gone. It's not even like, oh, it would be a fun shit show in my opinion to watch. I just think he needs to go. I'm sick of it. But I was shocked that they brought Anthony back. I really was, because especially that it was like the team of Fraser and Captain Kerry, that they both collaboratively said, yeah, Let's bring Chef Anthony back. But I will say I was also happy because I did say with last season, I think Chef Anthony is a brilliant chef. When he first came on, he started the season off strong. He was making incredible dishes. I think he just got in his own way and overwhelmed. So I think this is an awesome opportunity. Like he said, he's like coming with this confidence. He's worked on other boats now. I'm excited. And I'm hoping it doesn't blow up in his face. It was Jen Tree says it was weird how much he chilled out once the captain told him he found a replacement for him. Yeah, with the original chef, I completely agree. It just, he couldn't hold it. And I did not like it, but I'm excited. I'm excited with Anthony. And it does look like though we have some future blow up between him and Fraser, which I personally think Fraser, I think he's a great chief. And I think he's an amazing leader, does his job well. The only thing I think is that it's great TV. When he gets drunk, the gossip, like the cattiness comes out. And I said this last week. And so it just seems like we're going to have that fueled with Anthony, obviously having a bit of this chip on his shoulder, being like, I need to talk to him. I think he's the reason I got fired. So I'm really interested where that's going to go. But
Gels, can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh my God, guys, listen, I do have to say really quick, I'm so glad we made it through that. I have the biggest, it's the shittiest excuse in the world. It's like the dog ate my homework, but we actually had lightning strike a data center near here. It turned off all of our internet on the island. Apparently it just turned on 10 minutes ago. So we're here and people can hear us now. So okay, good. Thank God. Thank God. Where did you leave off? Where are we?
So I just talked about Chef Anthony coming back.
Okay.
So I was saying that I was shocked that he was coming back, but that I'm really excited to see his potential because I do think he is an amazing chef. I just think he needed the confidence and a little more experience to be able to handle this.
Yeah, 100%. 100. But the chef is gone. We called this from the beginning.
Oh, I mean, just like, I can't, even with like his tattoos that are very like, is just such a victim.
You love those tattoos. I love that you say that. And I love that people like, I love that people like.
It wasn't even so much a look.
I don't agree with you, Gelsey.
I know. I have my thoughts about tattoos, but it wasn't so much like he shouldn't have tattoos. Like, you're in the gallery, who cares? But it was one of the tattoos they even zoomed in on. I wish I wrote down what it said. It was something like, it's very emo. He just has like very emo things tattooed on him. And I was like, oh, please. Like,
Lord.
I just can't. And like, all he can talk about is how he can't. And I found God. And I'm like, go, bye.
Yeah, dude, like, you know what? It's strange. You know what the thing is the irony in all of this is that his food is actually kind of fucking amazing. And they're not even like worried about it at all. You know what I mean? I do have to say, Gelsey, remember we were talking about, let me see if I uploaded this photo or not, how I thought I saw two chefs in one of the previews, right? And people are like, no. But Bravolytics, which is, I guess it's a fairly new Instagram account that I haven't seen, but I really love following it. I found them during Below Deck Down Under, actually. It kind of like, they give you ratings, they place like different crew members in order, kind of like ranks them and stuff. But they posted that this was the full season trailer. And you can see Chef Anthony is there if you really pay attention. So, I mean, it's no surprise. It's no surprise.
Yeah, you called it. And last night in the live chat, we were talking about Chef Anthony coming in even before he even appeared. And it was just like everyone kind of knew. But I still wanted to play into the shock that they wanted us to have. And I had it just because he got fired. But I do think it is crazy though. The Bollywood nights though. I mean, Lawrence killed it. The
I know. And they
primary
loved it.
Was so
they
happy.
He even said like, this is better than, did he say, than our family's curry or my mom's curry or something like that? And I'm like, that's a huge compliment.
And that primary was not easy to please. Well, no. I say that,
well, before we get into that chef drama, because I feel a resurgence of a Serena Lara situation. I don't know if you feel that coming or not.
Oh,
because now that Chef Anthony's coming back.
Well, I said that before you came on as well. I said the Fraser and Anthony thing, which looks like it's going to blow up next week. I said Fraser has his problem of getting catty drunk when they party and forgetting his position. He's amazing at his job until those little beach moments where they're off. Yep. And he likes to be the catty drunk gay boy, which I know very well from my performance careers. And we had great people in charge, and that comes out. And Anthony's coming in with that. I need to talk to him. I think he got me fired. And so it's just going to be this amazing fuel to the fire when that moment happens, but we'll see.
It's going to be, I think this is where shit is going to start getting really interesting and really kind of like, hit the fan a little bit, because it's so funny that Fraser was sitting there kind of, basically selling it to Captain Kerry that we need to bring him back. And then what does he get when Anthony comes back? Is like, you betrayed me. Like, I don't like you. But I want to move on because there's someone else in the show, in the cast, who I'm not getting like the best things from. And he's proving to be a little more chaotic than he is a leader. And kind of, yeah. KO is kind of who I was talking about here. And it's crazy because you have this charter going. Obviously there are storms going. Obviously there are guests in the water, but you have one deckhand down and you're like taking a break, eating lunch. And then what? Captain Kerry is just there to watch the guests. Like, what the hell is going on here? Do you think he's just a little, maybe a little over confident in a sense?
I think there is a bit of cockiness. We're kind of seeing a theme. This happened last season too with our bosun, that they seem to be real cocky and just kind of run things their own way, but it's not a tight ship, literally. And they kind of just like don't keep things organized and almost don't work that hard. And I think from a viewer's perspective, even watching, we're like, oh, they play and they work and this, that. But even Nick said, in his season that he's like, oh, Nate didn't get enough. Like, he maybe took an accumulative of 1 hour for the whole day. And it's a hard job, especially if you're in charge. You should be the last to break. And especially if people are in the water. So I literally wrote my notes. I wrote bosun, not good. That's all. Like, just like, I was like, and I called it last week. I said, there's something about him I don't trust. I don't like.
I don't know what it is, because you want to like the guy, right? He has the smile of just someone you want to hang out with, right? Like, it's insane. But I do have to say, I don't know. I think a lot of people are feeling the same way. I'm reading in a lot of places that he might go home, that we might see him go home. I could potentially see that. I didn't know we would get kind of a firing of the chef right away, but he kind of fired himself. And we've never had this kind of weird changeover of chefs, like, oh, he's going to help me out for a little bit, and then I'm going to leave. It's like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. Guys, in the live chat, we asked you to rate last night's episode. 4 anchors, 3 anchors, 2 anchors, and a canoe. That means you probably didn't like the show. So that's okay. But all of you are leaning into like a pretty decent episode. Like 3 anchors is kind of like the max of what we're getting here. So very, very interesting, guys. Very interesting. Okay, let's move on. Because again, it is kind of that one of those weird episodes where we got a lot in the first episode and we're kind of transitioning into the rest of the season and don't really know what's going to happen. But I want to move from the outside to the inside, to the interior, because Fraser has his hands full, not just with Anthony coming back on the boat, but with his set of stews. He has the best of the best.
The 3 Stooges. That's what we're going to call them. The 3 Stooges.
Oh my God. Well, I have to say, Rainbow like shined this episode. She really like kind of came in, and she's really proving herself to be reliable and kind of motivated and fun.
She earned her stripes.
She earned her stripes. Which, do you remember? We talked about this last time, but in Below Deck Down Under, it took Lara the entire season to give
make a decision
someone second stew position. Like, man, I'm so glad she's not coming back. Not that she was that horrible. She kind of was on TV. I hope she's maybe a nicer person. I don't know. Anyway, we have Rainbow, who is kind of stepping in to really coach and help Soleil, because Soleil is literally walking into shit all the time, and that's what happened this time. She can't clean the turd out of the toilet.
No.
Where is this gonna go? Because the dynamic between Barbara and Soleil, I feel like, is gonna hit kind of a rocky point at some point where I think Fraser might have to make a decision to can one of them.
Well, I did write that Barbara, and I want to kind of acknowledge at this point compared to last week how Barbara was like, come here, this, that, not being rude, just being more aggressive. And Celine was getting all butthurt. And this episode, she said, I'll ask her, thank you, please, because she's like, her feelings get hurt, but she's like, whatever, who cares? She's kind of being the bigger person in the situation, going, let me stoop to her level because this is going to make it easier. But that is going to hit its end because they're already complaining about how they're picking up the slack of Celine's work. They're like, I did 3 cabins and she did a half. And it's like, that's not going to fly after a while. Even Rainbow's frustrated there where they're trying the best to coach and help her. But she's such again, great TV, great fun energy. But it's just like, she's not there to work hard and learn. She's there to flirt. And
I think she thinks she's still on Love Island. You know, 100%. I think she thinks that works still. You know, but it doesn't work on this show. It's different. It's different. And she's very green, right? What did they say? 20 days? Like something like that? Or like,
and it was
just they picked her up from a shipyard. Like from where? Like where? From was in dry Love Island. Where did you get dumped at a shipyard or something? People someone found you and, you know, and they said, hey, can you just get on a boat and like clean something? She's like, yes. And then she can't. It's funny. But I do have to say she is great TV. Like she is someone who I think is just kind of gives us that like the humor, you know,
which is why I don't
know how
think
long that's going to last.
And I know I don't think she's going to get canned when she should. The thing is that she shouldn't have been hired. Like if this was a little more TV out of the picture, she probably wouldn't be hired unless she was vetted. Which who's going to vet her? So you know, this is like she
producers.
Exactly. They're like, she's done 20 days. She's fine. So
it's like, you have nothing on your resume. You're perfect for this show. So like, let's go like cause some chaos. Yeah, that was very interesting. Okay. So staying on Rainbow though, I do have to say this is one of the first seasons in a minute that we've been paying attention to tablescapes. And
I literally said, I just say tablescapes. Yes. It's so funny. I was like, can we talk about this?
Are those your notes?
This is my notes.
Bosun. Yes, tablescapes. Those are your notes.
There's more in there. Just look.
I hope you write these down? Do you type them?
I write them and it's like chicken scratch. I've got my coffee and I'm like, let me just, because it'll remind me what to say.
Oh my God. I mean, listen, from the Bollywood theme night to the Japanese night, like it's just, I feel like for the first time we're getting tablescapes of like, and I don't want to go too far here because she does have a book about tablescapes, but Bugsy from Below Deck Med. I feel like she is finally, we have someone who, and I don't think it's about like, it's never what, right? It's how. And I think she's utilizing what she has and making it great. But like I have a feeling she might steal the show somewhere later in the season.
Oh, I 100%.
I don't know why.
I do.
I don't know why.
She's solid. And I think we're finally seeing her personality and with the tablescapes, I feel like, because I said this last week on our episode, how sometimes when they decorate for a theme, it's quite cheesy and feels very Party City to me. And I'm like, guys, come on. This is a 5-star yachting.
It was so Lara. It was Lara last season, to be honest with you.
Not good. And it's not saying that, they have lower quality products and she is higher, because my mom, I think I appreciate tablescapes so well, is because I suck at them. But my mother, and Jason, you can back this up. My mom is brilliant at tablescapes and decorating, and she'll get things from the dollar store, and it looks
there again. It's not what, it's how. It's like taste, you know. And I feel
incredible.
Like she has taste for a yacht. You know, someone just said in the live chat too. Tess, thank you for reminding. You know, Toomey, who was on Below Deck Med, had gorgeous tablescapes. And she was actually on Below Deck Down Under as well, first season, I believe. Do you know that Toomey was our last guest on this show a year ago?
That's insane.
It's so crazy. Anyway, she did have gorgeous tablescapes. She was great, but she has taste. She has taste. But Marianne Stout says Bugsy was the top of the mountain. And really, she was. I have to agree with that.
I do love when Rainbow, I will go back to the shit in the toilet and Rainbow, since we're talking about this, that I love how she's like, okay, I'll help you out this once, but here we go. And then on her talking head, she's like, we had people take a shit on the teak on Monaco Grand Prix. And I had to I'm not taking this. Like, that's what you're complaining about. Let me tell you what I've done. And like, I don't know why that made me giggle, but it just shows you how much experience she's had and how much she's put up with, because that's yachting and she knows
and you learn how to just deal with the shit, like literally, right? You literally you just overcome things and obstacles, and you just know how to like kind of move forward. I don't know. Captain Sean and I always said too, if we were like bottom of the barrel, we're not too good to clean a toilet. You know what I mean? So Selene, I think, needs to learn that moving forward if she wants to be in this industry. Yeah, humble yourself.
She needs to be humbled.
Humble yourself. I mean, at least you're not stuck in laundry all the time. Can you imagine what that would be like?
Oh, it'd be so depressing. I think I kind of like it, actually. Just put on whatever you want. I'm like, but no, I was cleaning toilets about a year and a half ago. I was at a restaurant and we do cleaning shifts, and I remember just being like, I'm not better than this. Like, it's just the job.
It's just the job.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to do a check-in, but right after this, I do think there was a great moment, and we've been obviously we're in Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to everyone celebrating. But there was a really nice moment that I think kind of made this episode, because like we said, we're just getting to the next episode at this point, but Jess opens up about coming out in high school and how her parents were very supportive. And in all this chaos and stuff that we're watching, it's nice to kind of have this really great moment. You know what I mean? And her and Captain Kerry are developing like a really cool relationship that I kind of see starting. And I wonder if they're going to be the new Malia and Sandy, who I know you might not know who they are, but I really do like the relationship between Captain Kerry, but I really love Jess. She might be
Jess.
My favorite.
Yeah, she's my favorite right now. Rainbow's my second favorite of the crew, but I think I kind of see our current bosun being fired and her stepping up and him promoting her. I think that's a very high possibility, and I think she would be incredible and has what it takes, because they are building this amazing relationship and trust. And she's so grounded, but she's still fun and has this great personality. She's just like, how can you not absolutely love her? And it was a very heartfelt moment where she's very real still, and I like that.
Well, here's a picture of Jess and KO on the back of the boat. Do you think that these positions should be swapped? And do you think that Kerry might swap them, or do you think that KO just might be gone?
No, KO's going to be, I think KO's going to be, and she'll get stepped up to bosun. That's kind of what I hope will happen. It'd be interesting to do a swap, because that would be an awkward dynamic after. Could you imagine?
We've never seen it. So it's like, production wise, that would be kind of cool to see, but at the same time, like, Below Deck right now is just known for firings. Like, it used to be like very far and few between, and then it was like, now we need at least one a season, and now if you go watch Below Deck Down Under, you need 3. So like, we gotta keep it up, but it keeps it interesting for us.
It keeps new players coming in too. Yeah.
And who do you think Jess will end up with?
Oh, Jess. Okay, I thought you were going to say Selene. I was like, oh God, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want it to be the obvious statement of like, well, clearly Barbara, just because they're both gay. I think that's pigeonholing. But what is Selene's sexuality? I think I missed the moment when they were talking about it, because is she bi? Because
she's French. She's everything.
That's what I thought. That's kind of the vibe I got, that she's just like, I love the attention. To me, what reads is that she just wants everyone to want her, and she's playing the game. She's playing Love Island. And if she can get everyone to flirt and she'll flirt a little back, she does. I mean, look what she did in One Night with the 2 guys. She kind of likes this cat mouse game, fight over me. I think she's creating, again, great TV, but, and the guys are having fun, and I think they're in good sport of it with each other. Our frat boys there, but I don't realistically see, I know her and Jess seem to actually be clicking and having this, like, thank God you're here and they're my fresh air. But I just, at the end of the day, I don't think Jess, she's too grounded to go for such a hot mess.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, she knows, I know that she's like too smart to like even try that, Another little like kind of thing that we see, because we've seen like Fraser kind of always like flirts with like the straight guy. You know what I mean? What do you think about him and Damo flirting? Was that like not weird for some reason? I don't know why that was weird, because usually I'd be like, oh, that's fun. But I was like, this is weird for some reason. I don't know
I
why.
felt the same way. And it works when it's Kyle for some reason, and they obviously, like to drunkenly make out, and I don't know. I think there's a bit of a cheekiness. Damo kind of reminds me of Nate from last season. They're very different, but I think just they have the fun boy Peter Pan syndrome. Like they're still young, but do the job. Nate's a little more, I think, put together and kind of
But Damo, he admits it though. Like right off the bat, he's like, I'm this guy. And it's like, all right, cool. Like,
which I respect. He knows who he is, and so already I accept that more than someone that's pretending they're not, which happens to be a laundry list of who I've dated. But no, I kind of like him, and I think it's just because I've said it before. It's him and Kyle are just our frat boys that like I wouldn't necessarily know if I would want them on my team if I have a lot of work to do. They look like hard workers, but I wouldn't want to get in a relationship with them because you'd be like,
oh no,
dude, let's go. But I would want to hang out with them. I'd want them to be my friends. They'd be my entertainment. So I'm kind of a fan. I think they're fun, and I don't have solid opinions of them yet because it's about to go one of 5 ways with them. And I think from previews, I think it's going to get wild.
It's going to get wild. It really is. I do want to do a check-in with you because, okay, so far you have seen how many captains on Below Deck? 2?
I've now seen 2. Yeah, just Captain Kerry and Captain Jason.
And what do you think about these 2 captains and how do they compare? How are you feeling about Captain Kerry? Because Captain Kerry literally had such big shoes to fill coming in, like to fill the shoes of an OG captain who's been on for 10 seasons, who he's a fan favorite. He had all these one-liners. He had, all that stuff. But we said last week, it's like, let the guy like retire, dude. Like he's been on for 10 seasons. He's, older. He's been getting hurt, and now we have Kerry. And I think he has like really finally stepped into where he's supposed to be. I feel like Below Deck is now his.
I totally agree. I think I can already see such a difference from last season to this season with Captain Kerry. I mean, I was a fan of him last season as well. I think he is a more fun, laid back, like let his crew figure it out so they can grow kind of a vibe versus Captain Lee. But I think he knows when to flip the switch. And he's even kind of said it like, hey, don't take my kindness for weakness. And I loved that when he said that, like, I don't have to be a dick to be a good leader. And I like that because I've had a lot of people I've worked under just go straight to I'm a dick because I think they think it makes them like it's like a power trip thing. And it doesn't work all the time. So I like this. Like, I feel like he's a captain and a boss that like is approachable. If someone's really having a problem, you could go to him. But I feel like there's a little more sternness and a little more like grabbing it by the hands and in charge this season than last season.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I love it. I really feel like he stepped into like, okay, I'm still approachable. I'm still going to get with my team and help them if the help is needed, which, I'm a huge fan of. But I do see a little more, he's like, no, like cutting things, like nipping them in the bud and doing this already with this season. And I just think it shows his growth of that leadership position. And when he
Below
went through,
Deck. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, well, I was just going to say when he sailed through, Jason and I like to talk, when he sailed through the bridge and it was the stress of it's the smallest bit, I was just like sitting back and I was like, I'm not even like holding my breath because I was like, Captain Kerry's got this. I just already have that faith.
He's a real captain, like some people are show captains, who are good for the show. And some people are like real captains. Like Kerry is a real captain. Jason is a real captain. Pretty much all of them. They have different licenses and stuff like that, but I think Kerry is like pretty up there too. I just want to give a big shout out to Carol Garrison. Thank you so much for bringing Anchor Watch back and Nick on. Greater show. We appreciate you, Carol. Thank you so much for the super chat. We love, guys. Listen, we're turning things around. I have to apologize for tonight with the storms and the lightning strike on a data center. I don't know where the hell that sounds like. My dog ate my homework and my camera's not working. I'm not even recording where I'm supposed to be recording tonight. But we made it through. We're getting there. What are you looking forward to for next episode, Gelsey? And live chat. I want to know what you guys are thinking.
I think no, I was gonna say Chef Anthony and Fraser having a conflict and having it a go. But honestly, I think I'm looking forward to Celine's hot mess. Like we said, she needs to leave, but I kind of really enjoy watching how big of a shit show she is. And
I mean, can you imagine you just wake up every day and you're like, what am I just gonna fuck up today? What am I gonna do today to drive everybody nuts? And just like you live on the clouds, so like she's always in bliss. It's not like she's suffering from this, you know. So
she's always in a good mood, and I'm kind of, she's got two things. It's like, what is she gonna fuck up for her team, and also I'm curious, like, what romance not mess is she gonna make, and conflict and drama there. So I think there's a lot of things on her shoulder that, like, there's a lot that can just go wrong.
Oh my God. Yeah, I agree. I can't wait for next episode. You know what?
The charter guests. Isn't this the porn star episode?
The porn stars.
That's what I can't wait for.
We are welcoming our porn stars. Some of the stuff in the preview, I was like, this is still Bravo. This isn't like, you know, I mean, you can kind of see what's happening here.
There's a lot. What they're implying is going to happen. I was actually in shock of how far they might take it, but I mean, I'm here for it.
It's summer, it's prime time. I mean, like, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be fun. Gelsey, we would be matching if I was recording where I was supposed to be recording. We both have our fires on. Like, what?
It's okay. It's okay. I represented our fire tonight.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Guys, thank you for joining us for Anchor Watch. Thank you for hitting the like button. It helps us out so much. That is our tip. We're all about the tip here. Thank you for dealing with our technical difficulties last week, this week. I'm sure we'll have more. But we enjoy. I love doing this with you, by the way. This is so fun.
Me too. Yeah.
And then we have I know you're going to be gone for like a week or two. So we have Greg coming back. We have Josh coming in as well to fill in for you. But also we'll do a big panel together towards the end of the season. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below, what you're thinking about this season so far, this episode, who you think is going to go, who you think is going to stay, who your favorite person is. And I think I closed that poll, but if I didn't, I saw what you guys were saying. We're kind of like a 50-50 on this episode, but I have a feeling next week it's going to ramp up with the porn stars. So I think we're going to get a good show for sure.
I do too. And big shout out and big thank you again to Nick. You made our night, and it was just so awesome to get to talk to you outside of the show and get to really sit down with the real you.
Yeah, he's the coolest person on Below Deck I've ever met.
Oh my gosh.
And I've met a lot of them. Okay, a lot.
Okay,
I like him a lot. He's really No, he's really cool. So hopefully we can even like catch up with him again at some point. And we do have some other people joining us for the rest of Anchor Watch as well. And it's just always so nice when they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's so nice. And guys, thank you so much for your support. I'm telling you, you guys are the reason that this is back on YouTube. You know, we tried really hard to like keep it going, but we had to take a little hiatus because everyone got busy for a second. So, and we will have Captain Sean back on too, Marianne, for sure, for a little dive in with Captain Sean. All right, guys, have a great night. Thank you so much. And we will see you next week, same time, same place. Good night, gals.
Good night.